Epicureanism is the belief that the good life is one of pleasure, but not the wild, reckless kind people often imagine. For Epicurus, pleasure meant something deeper, the absence of pain, both in the body and in the mind. In simple terms, happiness is peace. At its core, Epicureanism is about living well by living simply, avoiding unnecessary desires and fears that disturb the mind. It's about seeking joy in friendship, reflection, and modest comfort, rather than chasing wealth, fame, or power. If life feels calm and free of suffering, you have already reached the highest pleasure. This doesn't mean avoiding all pleasure. It means choosing pleasures wisely, picking those that bring lasting happiness and avoiding those that create more pain than they're worth. An Epicurean might enjoy a good meal, but they don't need a feast every night to feel fulfilled. Epicureanism emerged in the 4th century BCE in Athens. Epicurus founded his own school, known as the Garden, where men and women, free and enslaved, could gather to study and live according to his philosophy. Epicurus taught that fear is the greatest enemy of happiness. Fear of gods, fear of death, fear of the unknown. He argued that the gods, if they exist, are indifferent to human affairs, and that death is nothing to fear, because when we are alive, death is not here, and when death comes, we no longer exist. In practice, Epicureanism encourages self-sufficiency, close friendships, and a quiet life away from the chaos of politics. It values the mind's tranquility over public glory, and private contentment over public ambition. In politics, Epicureans were often cautious. They didn't reject society, but they believed political life brought more anxiety than peace. In culture, they embraced learning, conversation, and the beauty of simple pleasures, like a shared meal or time in nature. The opposite of Epicureanism is not discipline, but rather hedonism in its reckless form, the constant pursuit of intense pleasures without regard for consequences. Where a reckless hedonist might drink to excess, the Epicurean enjoys just enough wine to feel warm and content. Taken too far, Epicureanism can risk becoming isolationist, avoiding all challenges or responsibilities for the sake of comfort. But taken well, it becomes a philosophy of freedom from needless suffering. For example, in today's world, an Epicurean might choose a modest home, a few close friends, and work they enjoy, even if it pays less, over a stressful career chasing wealth. They find happiness in the security of their health, the stability of their relationships, and the peace of their own mind. Critics sometimes call this settling, but Epicureans see it as clarity, knowing what actually makes life good, and letting go of what doesn't. Supporters of Epicureanism say it brings calm, gratitude, and resilience. It teaches you to focus on what truly matters, and to free yourself from society's endless demands for more. Critics argue it can be too inward-looking, neglecting the drive to change the world or take bold risks. Both sides agree that its central question, what is worth pursuing, and what is worth ignoring, is timeless. Epicureanism is not about constant indulgence. It's about cultivating a life where joy is steady, suffering is minimal, and the heart is at rest. The greatest pleasures are often the simplest ones, and the wisest life is one where you know when to stop chasing and start living. Your peace is yours. What you choose to seek, and what you choose to let go, will shape the quality of your days, and the calm of your mind.